Tonight on Joy News Prime, National Consultative Dialogue on Small-Scale Mining ends with a resolve to tackle the canker as a national emergency devoid of partisan politicization.
The dialogue therefore agreed by consensus that dealing with Galamsey is a national emergency which required urgent and concerted efforts.
3 more persons have died in yet another motor accident, this time near the 37 military hospital.
10:30 last night, 2 sports cars were racing on a stretch. I don't know what exactly happened, but before we realized, they had run over a number of hawkers. We were the only drivers available, so we helped the police to move them from the scene.
Also in this bulletin, suspected armed robber believed to have been involved in the Takrade Market Circle has been killed in a shootout with the police.
They accosted the robbers on the Elmina Cape Coast Road. The robbers engaged the police in a gunfire battle, and in the process, one of the robbers by name Shakinki, who is aged about 30 years, was gunned down.
In business, latest data from Bank of Ghana shows first quarter revenue exceeds target by 3 billion cedis, more than pre-pandemic level.
Data on government revenues for the first quarter up to the middle of March, and they were doing far better than what we saw same time last year. The gap in there is about 3 billion more revenues had come in.
And later in this bulletin, motorists flying the Tamale oil refinery Bon Road lament work is yet to start on the stretch 8 months after salt was cut for commencement.
The road no good because the road they be chaka zala, you know good. Because the road no is all maka.
It can take about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Because of the bad road, we don't want anything for the government. Make it try to do this road from GTP roundabout to Pong.
My name is Ibrahim. Joy News Prime comes to you live from our studios in Kokomlemle here in Accra on your digital terrestrial TV because we're free to air, and on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. Remember, this is the home of independent, fearless, credible and impactful journalism. Do stay tuned in. Many thanks for choosing us. After 2 days of deliberation, brainstorming and jaw-jawing, the National Consultative Dialogue on Small-Scale Mining has elevated the Galamsey menace as a national emergency that must be tackled with non-partisan lenses. The 2-day dialogue ended Thursday with participants agreeing on the seriousness of the situation and the need for all hands to be on deck. A 15-point communique outlining the agreement of the dialogue was adopted. Lands and Natural Resources Minister Samuel Abujinapo read portions.
Took note of the widespread allegations of the participation of or the support accorded by people of prominence in government, public and civil service, traditional authorities, business leaders and other opinion leaders to these illegal mining activities, which has given credence and prominence to the activity. 10. The dialogue, while noting that when properly done, small-scale mining could have the key to significant economic advancement. However, unanimously agreed that Galamsey is a major threat to the future of our water resources, particularly in the environment at large, thereby threatening the integrity as a nation. 11. The dialogue therefore agreed by consensus that dealing with Galamsey is a national emergency which required urgent and concerted efforts. Therefore, all political parties, all stakeholder groups, all individuals need to join the development and execution of this national, not parochial agenda to rid ourselves of the long-standing issue of illegal small-scale mining and the need to implement measures in eradicating it out of our society.
Meanwhile, government is assuring that it will take the appropriate steps to ensure that all resolutions adopted at the forum will be implemented.
When the president was speaking in the president's speech, he made it clear that yes, it looks like we've all been going around in circles, but this time we must all come together to ensure that we are able to deal with illegal mining once and for all. If you look at the communique is addressing most of the issues that was raised by the people who were here, by the participants, with particular attention to, I would say, we making sure that the message goes down, and the fact that we should go down at regional levels and also district levels. Minerals Commission cannot be working just as they've been doing all these years. Minerals Commission must have district offices, and that is going to happen. As we speak now, the minister has assured Minerals Commission that he's going to ensure that their capacity is enhanced for them to be able to enforce. The word is enforcement, enforcement, enforcement. We've all come to realize that the laws are there if we do enforce it, and we make sure that regulation is done transparently to the extent that people can even get licenses at the district level. We'll be able to solve this whole problem.
It was revealed at the forum that the European Union is threatening to impose restrictions on Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire on cocoa exportation into ports of their member countries if the deforestation blamed on illegal mining is not dealt with. According to Deputy CEO of Cocoa Board, Dr. Emmanuel Ajimanjumo, the EU also believes the current deforestation could also be blamed on the cultivation of cocoa in the forest.
When you take the satellite image, you could see that areas where we have cocoa, they were all green. But now, because those places are turned into galamsey, the land has been, the cocoa has been removed. What you see is that when you take the satellite images, you see the place showing red. And EU thinks that all those places is because of cocoa that is causing the land degradation. Meanwhile, it is as a result of the galamsey activities that is the cause of the problem that we have. And as we speak, they are threatening us that they're going to sanction Ghana and they're going to prevent cocoa from entering their port. And when this thing happens, where are we going to sell our cocoa? So loss of economic trees, these are also happening. Trees like Ufuntum, Odum, Nyamidria, and so forth and so on. These are all economic trees. They are being removed and being replaced with these galamsey activities. Seepage of heavy metals and chemicals, which my earlier presenter mentioned about. You can see some of the pictures of the damaged areas that used to be cocoa, covered with cocoa farms, have all now been damaged. And you see that the extent of the damage that is going on.
Ranking Member of Parliament's Lands and Forestry Committee, Rashid Pepper, wants government to take steps to immediately deal with the menace. He revealed the committee will be traveling to the western region to ascertain the damage done to lands due to galamsey.
Well, it's terrible news, it's bad news. It tells us that over the years, several years after independence, we are yet to find grounds in how to reach the top level of production and also to create confidence in our markets that we can produce the right kind of products and do it the best way and earn the best we can. So it's disturbing news. Well, we are proposing to take a visit to the western region to see the amount of destruction of the lands that have occurred because of galamsey, and also to assess the issues and be able to speak to them. But once again, it is a disturbing phenomenon, that we don't seem to be in control of affairs in Ghana, even though we have a leadership. We seem to be overtaken by events, by people, willing people who are seeking their welfare, destroying the system, and we just watch and look on, and that's disturbing enough. So I think that we need to have a decisive policy that can tackle these things, that can look up, and that can ensure that the existing laws are followed. We all know you can't go destroying the land that belongs to a generation and walk away straight, away. You can't cut trees as and when you want and walk away free. There are rules about them and there are laws about them. So when we have assessed and we got to understand what exactly is happening, then we can come out strongly as a parliamentary group on these things. We believe that government has the power to take decisions now. This forum is long overdue, and I hope that in a situation where we have collated ideas from all sectors of society being peddled by government, faithfully committed, we can achieve something out of it.
Former Lands and Natural Resources Minister Collins Dauda is of the opinion it will be difficult to attract the broad national consensus needed to fight galamsey due to the entrenched interests.
The problem of illegal mining, in my view, is a difficult one for government to solve. I say so because the players involved in illegal mining are very influential. If you're a government, or if you're in government and you want to deal with illegal mining activities, and you have your regional chairman deeply involved in it, you have your constituency chairman deeply involved in it, it will be difficult sometimes to call your regional chairman to order, particularly if that regional chairman is so influential. That is the angle I'm coming from. Number two, if farmers now don't find value for keeping their cocoa farms, for keeping their lands, but they find value in giving their lands out to galamsey operators, take monies from them, invest such monies in other commercial ventures, then we have a problem. Because it is rather the landowner or the farmer who must help government to address this issue of galamsey. In this our situation, it is rather the farmer and the landowner who is rather promoting it. That is where the challenge is. When a galamsey operator is arrested, what happens? He is handed over to the police. And as usually the case is, if the person arrested is a political person, naturally you will find somebody picking a phone and calling, asking the police to stop investigating the case.
Kwame Januar, who represents civil society at the National Consultative Dialogue, joins me on phone with his thoughts on the outcome of day 2 of the forum. Mr. Januar, I'm grateful for your time. For you, what's the take home from this 2-day consultative dialogue?
Aisha, good evening. I'd like to ask the question: is there anything new in this document that has come out? Are you trying to tell us that we never knew anything about it, that all the information in there is new? Is that what we're trying to say? That before we came to this dialogue, we didn't know this? One thing that is done, when you look at number 9 of the communique that's come out, this is the first time it has been officially said that prominent people in government are part and parcel of this. But look, for me, the most important thing is, how do you stop the attractiveness of illegal mining? How do you stop it? And the way for me you stop it is to add value to gold in Ghana. That is the first point of call. You've got to add value so that it's not attractive for foreigners to come and take our gold out. If we're to add value and we're to say all gold produced in Ghana should be refined here, including the legal mining companies, no more export of bullion, everything is refined here. Would we not be able to now control it because nothing is going out, and we police it. And you see, the institutions that police it are enormous. EPA, Forestry Commission, Cocoa Board, Agri Ministry, Lands and Natural Resources, District Assemblies, Water Resources, Minerals Commission, Geological Survey, traditional leaders, sectoral approach, law enforcement agencies. Look, all these institutions should be part and parcel of the monitoring. And then, with regards to cocoa, we need to register all cocoa farms in Ghana. All cocoa farms should be registered so that anybody who owns a cocoa farm and thinks that he can sell his land to a legal miner, we deal with them. We need comprehensive regulations with this kind of thing. So the president comes and tells us that he's put his presidency on the line. And then 4 years down the line, we're coming for this consultative dialogue. Some of us said at the beginning, when that major was murdered, that this thing shouldn't be a government thing. Bring everybody around the table. Let's dialogue it. 4 years ago, don't you think if we did this 4 years ago, we'd be in a better place today?
But are you hopeful that at least at the end of day 2 of this consultative dialogue, with government admitting that it is an emergency, the canker of illegal mining, something will come out of this? I mean, this dialogue will make a difference.
It was an emergency the first time round. It was a national emergency the first time round. It has always been a national emergency. What we haven't done is being able to now deal with this national emergency. I don't think this dialogue, saying it's national emergency is the first time we've heard it. Everybody knows, and even our European partners know that it's a national emergency. That's why they've come out to say what they've said. It's been a national emergency for years, even within the NDC, when the NDC were in power. What have we done about it?
So
we put it around it and go around the bush.
So what's your point? You've lost hope in fighting the menace of
I haven't lost hope in fighting the menace. I expect that more radical things should be done. More radical things should be. Look, at the present moment, we haven't demarcated areas on land as to where we do cocoa farms, where we do gold, and we are now coming to do onshore production. We haven't demarcated anywhere. So everybody gets up and feels, because I have land, I can do X, Y, Z. It has to stop somewhere, because in the end, we will degrade the whole land and we'll have nothing to live on. Everybody lives on the land. And so the right thing should be done. And I don't think, up till today, the right thing has been done.
I'm grateful for your time. Lawyer Kwame Januar is a representative of civil societies at the National Consultative Dialogue. Now, a suspected armed robber identified as Shankiki, believed to have been involved in the Market Circle robbery in the Western Region capital, has been killed in a gun battle with the police. 2 other accomplices are said to be on the run. A man who had arrived in Ghana from Switzerland with his wife to monitor a building project was killed in the daylight robbery involving 6 armed men on motorbikes. Regional correspondent Inafali Akwansa has more.
Team of officers from the Western Regional Criminal Investigations Department, together with officers from SWAT Accra region, conducted an intelligence-led operation to arrest suspects who are wanted in the Takrade Amalfo robbery and murder on 12 of April 2021. Police closed in on suspects at Elmina along the Cape Coast Takrady Road. In an attempt to arrest the suspects, they engaged police in a shootout, but one of them, later identified as Shankiki, aged about 30 years, was gunned down. 2 others managed to escape on one other motorbike.
Following the recent robbery and murder incidents within the Tekindi Takrady metropolis, the Western Regional Criminal Investigation Department, together with SWAT from Accra, conducted an intelligence-led operations. And yesterday at about 8 p.m., they accosted the robbers on the Elmina Cape Coast Road. The robbers engaged the police in a gunfire battle, and in the process, one of the robbers by name Shakinki, who is aged about 30 years, was gunned down. The other 2 managed to escape. Shakinki was gunned down, was on board a motor vehicle with registration number M-606-20. it was retrieved from the scene. His body has been sent to the police hospital morgue. When the motorbike was inspected, it was realized that he had put a sticker on part of the registration number for it to read GW606. The team were able to locate the hideout of these criminals, and when they got there, they were able to arrest one Hussein Inusa, aged 25 years. They also found one AK spent ammunition. They also found a talisman and a live tortoise at their hideout. Inusa Hussein is currently in police custody, being interrogated.
Body of deceased suspect robber is being conveyed to the police hospital morgue for presentation and autopsy.
On the lookout for the two others who ran away. So we are still closing in on them, and we are hoping that with the cooperation we are getting from the public, we'll be able to arrest them.
So are you still going to reward anyone with that 10,000 now that you have made some efforts?
No, it depends. It depends. For now, I don't have any information that it was somebody who gave information to police that led to the arrest. But if it was an individual who gave information to police, definitely that person will be rewarded.
For Joy News, in Athalia, Kwanza, Western Region.
In Accra here, trotro drivers at the 37 station are blaming private vehicle drivers for the frequent road accidents being recorded in the country. This was after 3 hawkers were killed last night on the 37 Burma Camp Road in an accident involving 2 private vehicles, which eyewitnesses say were speeding along the road. 3 other hawkers who were also run over are said to have been badly injured. Judith Tando has more in this report.
The death of 3 hawkers brings to 18 the number of deaths in road accidents reported Wednesday. They add to the alarming high number of motor traffic fatalities recorded in the first 3 months of the year. The MTTD puts the number of deaths at 771 between January and March. The Burma Camp accident was said to have happened at about 10 p.m. Ejay Eboa, a trotro driver at the 37 station, witnessed it.
Around 10:30, na your station inside. Na cars na sports cars ni bi na so won't resist.
Around 10:30 last night, 2 sports cars were racing on a stretch. I don't know what exactly happened, but before we realized, they had run over a number of hawkers. We were the only drivers available. So we helped the police to move them from the scene.
His colleagues at the 37 Trotro station tell Joy News, contrary to the widely held opinion that commercial drivers cause most accidents, the private drivers are the biggest culprits.
Private drivers, no. Because of automatic
most of these private drivers are not experienced, especially the Uber drivers. It's hard to find trotro drivers causing problems on the road because we understudied drivers for a long time before we become drivers.
Asante trotro driver benya problem because trotro driver no we dimate work our experience.
The private drivers no cause the most problem in trotro drivers. The private drivers no
private drivers are the cause of all our accidents, yet we are always blamed simply because people think private drivers have money.
Private driver no cause problem no. Maybe a private driver no ni sikanti we say na dey atia trotro driver no.
Trotro drivers are obenya accident na be a fairly brake ni brake atoma na say BBC. So by young boys see if
a trotro driver gets an accident, it means his brakes have failed. But these young boys are paying for licenses every day without going through any learning process. But for us, we learn before we become drivers.
The commuters, however, blame it on inexperienced driving.
Most drivers are not well trained because you realize that most people who go for the driving school pass through the mandatory exams as DVLA. How do you cause this accident? But people who just pass short connect acquire a driving license cause most of these accidents?
Most of these accidents sometimes is from the unexperienced, driving. Some of the private cars, they don't go to proper, training, and then they get on the road.
The speeding is just too much. We know the number of kilometers wherever you reach, you have to go. But no, we overspeed, over unnecessary overtaking. You can't even see your face because you are climbing a hill, but you will try to overtake. Then all of a sudden, bang, accidents.
Maybe the drivers don't drive well. That can also cause that. Sometimes the experience also. That's why we care. Yes, please.
The airport police, which is handling the case, has since been unavailable for comment. Judith Awatritando, Joy News.
Security analyst Professor Kwame has meanwhile called for drastic action to deal with the road carnage. Speaking on Joy FM Super Morning Show, accidents have moved beyond a national security threat to become something that threatens our very existence as a nation, according to Dr. Ening.
It goes beyond just the security side. It encompasses economy, it encompasses our developmental schemes, it encompasses the family, community coherence. Our very existence is in danger. If the COVID had killed the number of people that have died last year and this year, if HIV kills at the rate that people are dying on our roads, we would have elevated it an existential threat. We would have found extra budgetary resources to ensure that the carnages are brought under control. We would have hauled those who are responsible to talk to the people of Ghana about the interventions that they are making, similar to the COVID intervention. Okay, so we need to change our approach, our attitude, our understanding to road traffic carnage.
National Road Safety Authority on its part says it will reintroduce the road toll levy as part of measures to improve safety on the country's roads. Though the levy was fiercely resisted when it was first introduced, compelling government to shelve it, Director of Planning and Programs at the NRSA, David Adonting, tells Joy News plans are underway to bring it back.
The problem is still there, still killing people. We, as the National Road Safety Authority, we think that this project has not been abandoned. We will come up with it again. At the moment, we are discussing amongst ourselves technically. We are discussing with our ministry, with the police and other stakeholders. We are discussing even at parliament level. Bring back the project, because we have realized that across the world, projects of this nature, because of its capital intensiveness, it is a private sector.
As also come in this bulletin, motorists flying the Tamale Oil Refinery Kpon Road lament work is yet to start on the stretch 8 months after salt was cut for commencement.
The road no good because the road they be chaka zala, you know good. Because the road no is well maka.
It can take about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Because of the bad road, we don't want anything for the government. Make it try to do this road from GTP roundabout to Kpon.
And coming up in business, latest data from Bank of Ghana shows first quarter revenue exceeds target by 3 billion cedis, more than pre-pandemic levels.
Data on government revenues for the first quarter up to the middle of March, and they were doing far better than what we saw same time last year. The gap in there is about 3 billion. More revenues had come in.
Details shortly with Charles Aite in business.
Yeah, welcome to business. Now, latest data from the Bank of Ghana continues to support claims of a strong rebound in the economy. Now, the data further shows that the economy may now have recovered significantly from the shocks of the first wave of COVID-19. Figures show that the country has exceeded its target by 3 billion cedis compared with the same period for last year. Philip Abredu-Otu is the Director of Research at the Bank of Ghana.
Looking forward, we think we are going to get another bounce back. And the reason being the vaccines. Yeah, the vaccine is a new story. in the mix right now, and we think slowly it is giving confidence. And we think that in the next survey, business and consumer confidence will go. I mean, and again, the governor also said that because he had seen the numbers, the various constituents of our composite index of economic activity, which shows that all the indicators are now operating above their pre-pandemic levels, which is good sign. The most interesting thing that we saw was VAT receipts, which had gone up significantly high. We also saw data on government revenues for the first quarter up to the middle of March, and they were doing far better than what we saw same time last year. The gap in there is about 3 billion.
And that's the director in charge of research at the Bank of Ghana, Philip Abredu Otu there. The Ghana Export Promotion Authority has introduced an educational curricula for Ghanaian exporters to align with international trade policies under the World Trade Organization. Here's more. CEO of GEPA, Dr. Efuasabi Asari, detailed the need for a diploma in international trade online program, citing its competitive advantage for Ghanaian exporters.
The ultimate objective is to orient graduates transforming Ghana's natural into manufactured economic wealth. The expected outcome for the third pillar of the National Export Development Strategy is to have a substantial number of trained men and women actively engaged in businesses in the industrial export product and services value chain.
Meanwhile, Joy Business engaged some partakers of the program. They believe the course gives them an edge over the counterparts.
I joined this program because I want to have an appreciable knowledge in international trade. So when I got the opportunity, I decided to enroll. Ideas were shared on our platform because we couldn't have any physical interactions.
My name is Thomas Jake Kwekupra. I am one of the candidates who was enrolled on the Level 4 Diploma in International Trade, a program that is organized by GEPA in collaboration with East of Export and International Trade and International Trade Center in Geneva. The whole program started last year, September. It's a 4 module, and every semester we are to take 1 module.
All exporters of non-traditional products will in the coming weeks be engaged in an extensive orientation. This is to open them up to existing opportunities when it comes to the implementation of the Continental Free Trade Agreement. Well, a machine operator from Tamale, Januar, Asante has won 20,000 cedis in the unique prize of the analyst 787 mega jackpot draw held on Saturday. We have a report.
Daniel Asante says his 20,000 cedis unique prize will aid him elevate the face of his pending project. The overjoyed winner expressed gratitude to the 787 lottery and urged all to partake in this week's 365,500 cedis promising jackpot.
TV na mihu say metry say ebe ya bet mihu ni TV so no minya gidi ewum na me so metry that day the manager pa manager because me who be sad I say me timber be ade afre me say me did 20,000 cedis manager
Richard Akotobanfo, head of customer experience at 787 Lottery after presenting the check prize to Daniel Asante, says his outfit has launched a new product.
You are looking at a jackpot value of 365,500 Ghana cedis. This is a life-changing moment. On top of it, when you visit our USSD menu, you will find out that we have changed or added a little option to our USSD menu, which is the full house. Now, what this full house does is that it gives you the opportunity to win big, which means that you can win and then win as less as a ticket of 10 Ghana cedis or a price of 10 Ghana cedis. This is your moment. Minya, it is just star 787 hash. Just pick your phone now, dial star 787 hash, and then be a ticket away to changing your life.
And we're done for this segment of business. We're back after 8 to stay.
Thank you for staying with us. Former assistant coach of the Black Stars, Ibrahim Tanko, has denied claims that there is nepotism in player selection for the various national teams. Media reports claim that some GFA officials imposed their players on handlers of national teams as recently as the last Black Star scholar, but the former Borussia Dortmund striker has vehemently denied those reports. Here's a report by Muftar Nabila Abdullahi.
President of the football governing body, Kotoko, had said that the invitation of players to the various national teams must go through a process he says is editing. According to him, the practice is a standard one globally. The position of Kotoko has been reiterated by former assistant coach of the Black Stars, Ibrahim Tanko, who believes everyone must be involved to ensure the best players are selected to represent the country.
Of course, if they suggest, I will look at the player since he's a Ghanaian, and I also want the best players to go to the tournament. So, I mean, suggestion is not forcing me to take the player. So definitely, even you can suggest a player for me to look at him. So that I don't think that is the bad thing. At the end of the day, you are going to take the decision. I can choose my players and then come and sit with the management, and of course I have to defend it. If I defend it, finish, the rest is up to me. I don't think they can force me or force any coach to take a players who he don't want to.
Despite accepting the position that management must be involved in the best players being selected to represent the country in various competitions, Ibrahim Tanko insists management must not force players on the technical team.
Yes, I don't think, as I said, we can have a chat. You can ask me why I called this. I the coach, have to convince you based on what I want to play. And like you said, now everyone is watching football everywhere. So all the players who are playing, who are performing, everyone knows. Yeah. So I think it even make it easier for us, the coaches, to choose the right ones. So I don't see anything wrong about that.
Tanko was assistant to Kwesi Appiah in the 2019 African Cup of Nations, where Ghana exited the competition at the round of 16 stage.
Tamale, the capital of the northern region of Ghana, has been without a Premier League club since 2013. The last Tamale-based club to feature in the top flight was Real Tamale United. Joy Sports' George Addo Jr. was in the region a couple of weeks ago and has filed this report about the impending start of the Division 1 League, the resumption, and how potentially Tamale could have a team there again.
Having a Premier League team, as Tamale has enjoyed over the past 3 decades, does bring about massive advantages, but they have been left to feel the pinch. Northern Regional FA Chairman Alhaji Abul Hassan Mamadu, popularly known as Alhaji Raizo, understands it all.
Ever since RTU moved got demoted from the premiership, you realize that and economically it affected the business community. We had our sisters, our mothers, aunties who go there on weekly basis to go and sell their wares, either water, drinks, food to patrons of matches on match days. But ever since RTU got exited from the premiership, you realize that most of them have had to either stop altogether, because that was where they used to go to sell their wares, and then it's been a challenge.
Minority leader and Tamale South Member of Parliament, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, equally shares the pain of no Ghana Premier League representation up north.
They need exposure, they need an opportunity, and they need a platform to showcase their skills and their talent. One of my daily reports is the fact that there's no premier team in Tamale. Yes. So many of the opportunities are lost because we don't have a premier team. That's why I pray that either RTU or State Fans FC or Tamale City makes it this time around.
No Ghana Premier League club in Tamale means there's an upset in the supply chain of talents. From coast clubs to Division 2, anti-Division 1 clubs onto the Ghana Premier League clubs if they exist, before the usual attraction from Kumasi and Accra-based clubs used to be the norm.
It will be aired again at 10:30 p.m. if you missed the initial airing earlier today. Head coach of Accra Great Olympics, Anna Walker, is cautiously optimistic ahead of their crucial Week 20 fixture against Asante Kotoko on Friday. The Wonder Club are second on the table, just 1 point below the Porcupine Warriors. Here's a Joy Sports preview ahead of the 3 p.m. kickoff.
Great Olympics dropped to second place on the league log after losing their last game against Legon Cities at the Accra Sports Stadium. They will be coming up against Asante Kotoko, who currently occupy the summit of the league table, having beaten Brekum Chelsea by 2-0 at the Obuasi Lenkley Stadium. Head coach of Great Olympics, Anna Walker, believes the Porcupines have improved under the tutelage of Mariano Barreto.
Seriously, well, I would say they have improved since they've had a white coach. Maybe that has also changed the team in a way. But I don't know, and I will try to watch the match maybe tonight, then think of what to do.
A defeat for Great Olympics will see them further drop on the league table. However, the former Brekum Chelsea boss insists he's not under any pressure, though the 3 points are very vital for him and his team.
There's no pressure on me because I have confidence in my players and they take instructions from me. They do what I ask them to do. So since everything is working for me and the team, seriously, we are preparing seriously for them, and we need our 3 points, very, very important. So at the end of the day, on a quiet note, I don't want to talk, but at the end of the 90th minute, the result will tell it all.
Mariano Barreto was engaged as a substitute replacement for Maxwell Konedu, who was sacked in December 2020.
World Football Governing Body FIFA have approved the project team for the implementation of VAR in Ghana. The decision was announced during a meeting held on Monday on modalities for the implementation of the system in the country. In the meeting, the FIFA technical team approved a project team for Ghana, which is the second key step in the implementation process of the FIFA-approved VAR. Report details by Muftao again.
The football governing body announced last year they will be engaging a technology company that will provide the services of visual assistant referees in the Ghana Premier League. Referees manager of the Ghana Football Association, Alex Kote, tells Joy Sports the association will soon be settling on the technology company to help train Ghanaian referees the usage of the technology.
Is coming. Just like I said the first time, we are in the process. Now we have created the various teams, the legal team, the finance team, the training team, the technology team, and all that we're going to have, and then we would finally choose the technology provider. Then he will begin to come in with his item. Then the training, the real training itself would come on. It's a very long process, but then we think that we have started very well. Though there were some few delays, but we have started very well, and hopefully, I think that we are still working within the schedule.
The Ghana FA intends to roll out the video assistant referee in the country's top flight competition by 2023. However, many have reservations about where equipment for the VAR will be stationed, as most venues and the pitches are not good enough. Alex Kote says he is confident issues surrounding infrastructure will be resolved before the next 2 years to ensure there are no hitches in the functionality of the equipment.
We are saying that by 2033 we would have full implementation of the VR. I heard some stories somewhere. Some people were talking about our pitches not too good and that sort of thing. We believe that as part of the club licensing, the pitches is also part of it. Okay, and so we have given ourselves by 2022, and we want to ensure that at least by that time we would have very good pitches in the country, so that the VAR will not have problems.
The video assistant referee came to being in the 2018 FIFA World Cup after the world's football governing body noted incidents, human errors that have affected the sanctity of the game of football.
That's it for sport. Time for a break. We come back and we do international news.
Time now for showbiz. Mele Karin Yale is here with the very latest.
Hello. Ramadan Mubarak to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
What's up in showbiz?
So let's begin with the Captain Polo, because she's still trending after she got convicted for sharing some nude pictures of herself and her son. And we are awaiting her sentencing tomorrow. But ahead of that, her colleague entertainers on social media have been campaigning for her to be freed or given a less harsh punishment. And so I brought you excerpts of some of the tweets her colleague entertainers have been sharing.
So that's says, I think it's a little harsh to separate a child from their mom just because of pictures taken. Would want to plead with the law to pardon our sister, free Captain Polo.
And Stoneboy also says, I beg you people in the name of God, I believe it would do Polo more harm than good. Her son and mother will even suffer more if she's sent to jail. Hashtag forgive Ikapin Polo. And Stoneboy isn't the only one. Yeah, there you have it. D Black also says, let's raise our voices for Rosamond and her son. This isn't the best suited correctional directive. Too harsh a judgment for the caliber of offense. Lift your voices for Rosamond Brown. And he adds the hashtag free Ikiapim Polo. I also saw some tweets by Lydia Forson, singer Efia as well. Basically, they've been all, rallying their support behind Ikiapim Polo because they all don't want to see her in jail. In fact, earlier on an Accra-based station, her mother, Colding, was crying and begging the judge to be merciful, basically. So that's Lydia Forson's tweet. This case isn't just about her. It's about a system that continues to be selective when it comes to the law, justice, and who gets persecuted and for what crime. So but like I said, we're still awaiting her sentencing tomorrow. Fingers crossed she's not sentenced to jail. But away from Ikapin Polo, let's talk about the new owner of a 2020 Range Rover Velar. Talking about Kwame Eugene. So this afternoon, he got gifted with the car by the CEO of Adonko for his diligent work of being an ambassador for their energy drink. And the man talked about how when they even approached Kwame Eugene and asked him to name his price, he didn't mention any price. He just said, you know what, let me just do the work and give me whatever you want to give me. So Ibrahim Benbako, my colleague, caught up with him and asked him about it, and also he reacted to how people think about his fashion sense. All in this package.
Ambassador, to represent the brand, that's what I did my job for, and I think he actually paid me for this. He paid me for being a brand ambassador for Adonko Next Level, so I didn't expect this, because it's like buying something and they give you what you deserve after buying the thing. So I took my price and I just did my job. And I think I don't really know what I did so extraordinary. So but I just tried my best, and I figured I should do the job well. I did it well, and this reward came, so I give glory to God and thank you to Dr. Kotoko, and I'm overwhelmed.
When you're stepping out for an occasion, what informs your decision of what to wear?
It is what makes me happy, because it's very important. My happiness counts. What the occasion and wherever I'm going, what is happening there, that's what made me put on what I want to put on.
Have you? I'm sure you know that a lot of people have, issues with your outlook. And Kitty has told them to just chillax. Once it makes you happy, he doesn't have any problem, and nobody should have a problem with it.
No, nobody even has a right to have a problem with how somebody expresses or puts their image out there. It's not your problem, it's the person's problem. So even Kitty has no right to have a problem. Do you understand? Yeah, it's people's right. You just give people the room to express themselves. It's just that here we are we have too much problems and we don't care about it. We happen to care about other people's problems more than our problems. And I think if this is the continent we find ourselves in, let's just move to how the beat goes.
Kwame is ready to move to how the beats goes.
Hey, Mr. Kwame, don't forget us, so you know.
Hey,
he's our number one fan.
Yeah, well, yeah, but congratulations to him,
of course,
for that new.
Yes, but I want to have a jolly ride in it. You don't want?
Yeah, I do. I mean, who doesn't want to ride in the Velar?
Hello, hi.
But away from that, let's talk about a Ghanaian called Abbas Dodo.
Okay.
He's a percussionist and a drummer who basically entertains and dines with the royal family. And this afternoon, my colleague Doreen Avio caught up with him in the Joy Studios, and they had a wonderful conversation about how he even got to the UK and found his way in the Buckingham Palace. And apparently, the royal family enjoys Ghanaian music. You didn't know that, I bet.
Wow.
Watch.
I got to UK I had a job. The job applied for me. I didn't apply for the job. They came for me and they said they want me to work for them, which is Ajido, Pan-African Dance Ensemble. So I worked with them for a few years now, almost 10 years. And then after I set up my own one drum dance company. And and we had the opportunity to perform for the royal family, not just once, but we've been doing all their events if they needed any African flavor in a Ghanaian. So so I can sit down here now and say, apart from the president, I think I'm the next person that has met the queen and met the whole royal family that are doing event for them, being in the palace, all the houses around the palace, I've been in there performing for them, making them happy.
How did you get the link there? Because before you can get access there, you probably went through something. Somebody took you there, or you met someone. How did you get the link there?
I'll say God first. You know, I'll thank God for this. But one thing that I know is everything that you do, you have to do it well. I don't know much. I'm not the best drummer, you know, but the little that I know, I do it really well. And this is what took me there. They were looking for African drummer. So they Googled African drummer and they saw a lot of people and they chose me.
Wow.
So they chose me and they said, well, they want me to do it. And I went and I did the job and they were like, okay, we're gonna. So I've done a lot for them. I've done a lot of events everywhere that they go that need it. And most of the time, we talk about Ghana, we talk about the music, we talk about, I mean, they tell me how they enjoy the music and how they like Ghana, and, you know, because they travel a lot as well, but they always say, oh, Ghana is the best, you know, best place to be. And that makes me more proud, you know,
So that was Abbas Dodo, and on that note, that's it for Showbiz.
Thank you so much for bringing us Showbiz, and that'll be it for Showbiz. Welcome back to the rest of our stories. A clash between members of the coalition of law associations and some military men near the military cemetery at Chiado on Thursday has reignited a long-standing tussle over alleged encroachment of Lasso lands. For years, government and the traditional leaders have tried to resolve the Chiado lands dispute, but have yet to make any headway. During a protest by the association Thursday, a group of soldiers is said to have assaulted some of the protesters. Joy FM's George Quay was caught up in the fracas.
Then I drove off. Just as I drove off a few meters to the roundabout, I noticed that some military people were beating up somebody in the central island right there. So I just rolled down my glass and I said, oh, boss, Opamocho, he beg. And all of a sudden, these military guys turned on me. Who am I? Who do I think I am? What do I think this is? I should pack that fast. So I ignored and I rolled up and I was moving. Then he indicated to some other military people ahead of me to stop. So they sort of blocked my vehicle. And then one of them made me out. And then he came close to the car, and this guy he was annoyed, angry that I had dared open my mouth to say something. And I was trying to open the car, but it was locked. So the other guy came, and he was now trying to calm them down. And I said, I've done nothing. All I did was roll down and said, oh, guy, beg. That was all I did. I did not say anything. And so, who are you trying to tell us what to do? You think you can order us about? Were you recording us? Let me see your phone. And they looked at my phone. They checked to see if I had recorded what was on. When I noticed there was, should I say, a friendly in there, another military guy who looked a bit friendlier, and he was now to his other friends to calm down. There were about 2 of them who calmed the others down. Those who were mad and upset at me for daring, asked them to slow down on somebody they were beating up. There was about 3 or so of them.
The La Traditional Council has over the years led several protests in a bid to repose 250 acres of land in the Airport Hills area. The Lands and Natural Resources Minister Abu Jinapor promised a resolution of issues after a similar protest last month.
Let us all be patient, and the assurance I can give to you and to the chiefs is that the president said it before the elections and is very committed to ensure that these age-old controversial issues of land administration in Accra are dealt with substantially, and we intend to do that.
Vice President of the Coalition of Law Associations, Cornelius Ni Okai Ajete, tells Joy News they will continue to protest until government addresses their concerns.
So we went there to, express our displeasure, and the military came in their numbers. I've never ever seen in my life the magnitude of a military that was deployed, to come and disperse us. It was very bad. I mean, the beatings, they've beaten people. They came with clubs and breaking, glasses of cars and all of that. Just destroying. They went on a rampage, just destroying. Very destructive. Very, very, very bad. And they even beat the journalists. I can say there were more than 700. And they had some deployed on the road. They had barriers and all of that. And we were just about 300 or 400 or so. I mean, government has the right to take lands by, instruments, and then use it to serve national interests. But I want to tell you this. The lands that the military is taking, they are not using it to serve national interests. They are giving it to private people. Just 250 acres, they are struggling with us to take it. We've been so generous. We will keep protesting. We will keep going on the land. We will keep going there. They should beat us. They should kill us. They should do whatever they can. They should kill the whole of La. Until the last man is dead, we'll keep going there.
Motorists who apply the Tamale Oil Refinery Pon Road are lamenting the poor state of the stretch which connects the Tamale Harbour to Pon. Roads Minister Kwesa Mwakwata in August 2020 cut the sod for the reconstruction of the road in 24 months, but 8 months on and the project is yet to take off. According to users of the road, mostly fuel tanker and heavy-duty vehicle drivers from Tor and the harbour, the unmarketable nature of the road is impeding productivity. My colleague Manuel Kranteng has been speaking to some of them who want the road fixed immediately.
This entire Tor to Pon road is sandwiched by a lot of OMCs. Well, we've seen a lot of the fuel. In fact, there are a lot of tank farms, and so as a tankers park there, this is the same road that they ply, and that puts a lot of pressure on the road. We're told that this road, which is about 7.2 kilometers, is going to have the initial 2 kilometers, covered in concrete, and then the rest, which is 5 kilometers, will be covered by asphalt. But for almost a year since the sod was cut by the Honorable Roads Minister, they tell me that the contractor is yet to come on site. It's thick dust that is formed into the atmosphere. For other road users, this is a nuisance, and it's even causing them health hazards. And as you can see, this road is subject to heavy-duty vehicles, not only the saloon cars, which are taxis and so on. And so he's trying to fix, just parked at the vulcanizer and trying to fix it.
Pacho, your friend Echo, me you Pon road in so.
Okay.
Na road na enye nti on hwa ade am me spring na ebu. Nso oda sisi am kwato spring for me niska nti o say me face old one back sa. Na me the title so na me di adwuma nti ekwan na de anya kura anye.
Nti ekwan na ma o spring ne bu ye.
Ekwan na ma me spring ne bu ye because the way a portals ekwan na ye no etutu no. Nti ama wona me kakra kwa na eche akose ya. Botume bu spring. Because ekwan na omo ye na da so dia wo kwa ohun se no ekwan na da so nti ubibia so correct.
So just a few meters away from that vulcanizer we just spoke to, but this track is also broken down, and you can see the men busily working to try and revive it, and it's all because of the bad state of the road. My boss, the road. You said the road do what?
The road no good because the road they be chaka zala. You know good. Because the road no, you saw my car.
It can take about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Because of the bad road, we don't want anything for the government. Make it try do this road from GTP roundabout to Pong.
Okay.
Make it do for years because this road is a busy road. It's road where it can hide. It be a boom perfect for the Ghana.
I just try to speak to a few of the people here. Papa, taxi driver. Now road here, Asante here.
Masa roadway there. Bad road and say port okra manhole ankasa nti ye ejuma oso a ye bre ankasa even obeko shops an obeye ska obeye obeko shops an embo aye
this is just one of the tracks, and in a day you could have as many as 500 of these trucks moving to and fro, and that's it. Boss, now road no sanity.
Basa road no dey yanka na asemo. Munja jaja say sakwa be fa ho kura na eyem hihie.
We hihie mo.
Because ekwa ni nye. Enti munga ja ba no won bo mode no hwe no mbo abo because ekwa ni nye kwa kitwa. Traffic wa ha no kura na ebia endoso kura che motor we die kura because padudu o ha pa.
Residents of Sunafo in the Tiwa West district of the Eastern region are complaining about the lack of potable water in their community and have made a direct appeal to President Kotoko to intervene and bring an end to the decade-old challenge. The angry residents also describe as deceit the $1 million per constituency water project the administration started in its first term, but which is yet to deliver any water. The community members tell Joy News the mere sight of the project, which has now become a white elephant, puts them in great distress. Latif Idris has more.
The Sunafo community has a total population of about 4,000 people who are mainly into cocoa farming, a trade they inherited from their ancestors and are determined to leave behind for their children to continue. Though the main town in the area, potable water has eluded them for decades. There was therefore great expectations when the Special Development Initiative Ministry commenced work on a water project to supply potable water at last. It's been 4 years since they commenced work on this water project, and not a single drop of water has run through it. We continue to drink from unwholesome sources, and that is causing infections among the population.
Yes, abano. So baby biara sa $1 million one constituency she can question. Yes, Rafu, Achima Rafu. Yes, you come ubi.
We appeal to governments to retrieve the $1 million and complete the project for us. This is a stronghold of the MPP, and we don't deserve this. The district assemblies plan to set up a mini pump station for the provision of potable water. Also hit a snag when a strong wind blew away the storage tank. The challenge of the people, though, is that since the devastation by the strong wind, nobody from the assembly has followed up to fix the problem.
It was from the district assembly. So when the problem came, they never bought it. And the problem is still here that there are some, I don't know how to use them, unscrupulous and devilish people who don't, they just don't want any improvement in the town.
We say see me yalekula so kula mi nyabi. Me chia maye.
We badly need water in this community. They have made promises to restore the water tank, but that hasn't happened.
The people say attempts to get the assembly to restore the water tank and other accessories have proven futile. Everyone in the community thought the $1 million per constituency project was going to end the era of drinking from unwholesome sources. But now that it has become a white elephant, the people can only wait on government to find a permanent fix to their age-old problem.
The Food and Drugs Authority has asked manufacturers of herbal products to ensure strict adherence to standards set by the World Health Organization to govern the operations. Principal Regulatory Officer Anita Usukufor says producers face possible shutdown if they fail to uphold best practices in herbal drug manufacturing practices. She spoke at a meeting with industry players in Kumasi. Kofi Asare has more in the following report.
The FDA is collaborating with the Herbal Drugs Manufacturers Association of Ghana to abreast industry players on standards for efficacy. Principal Regulatory Officer Anita Usukufor says herbal manufacturers will have no excuse but to conform to good practices.
We've been going around to their facilities for some time, and when there are issues for them to address, which is non-compliances, they are asked to do it and they do it well. However, we've gotten to a stage in the regulation that they have to upgrade the way in which they handle other issues that may come up from the facility management, cleaning, sanitation, and documentation as a whole. So this is an interactive program to strengthen the already bond that we have with the local industry, which is the herbal.
President of the Herbal Drugs Manufacturers Association, Dr. Solomon Piakubi, wants President Akufo-Addo to publicly announce the efficacy of herbal drugs to allay public perception and to boost the industry. According to him, the industry is ready to produce quality products and adhere to good manufacturing practices.
If you recommend and you ask Ghanaians to eat dawa, kontomire, and the rest, automatically you are talking about herbal medicine. We use all these things in our production processes. So if the president should come in and add his voice, for people to ask they have confidence in orthodox medicine, we should have the same thing in herbal medicine or the organic medicine or the multi-component drugs. It will go a long way to boost our industry, as in the demand.
Reporting for Joy News, Kofi Asare.
It is a call for action as both young and old join demand for a change in the insecurity situation at Kaswa. Some young men are using their music to push for change, as a traditional leader in the community, Nisaka Odupon III, says he has petitioned authorities to demolish the refugee camp at Bujumbura, which he says has become a hideout for criminals. Maxwell Agbagba has more in a series of stories highlighting the security challenge there.
Sound of one of the songs by the group known as Sobolo Gang blaring from the loudspeakers of a car parked in a neighborhood at Kaswa. The chorus loosely translates as Kaswa residents, we have given our lives to Jesus. It addresses some issues like drug abuse and social vices like robbery, murder, and more. Isaac Adolfo Somoa, also known as Boy Dope, is a resident of Kaswa and a member of the group. He says he's terrified by the alarming crime rate.
We get scared because, you know, we ride in cars often and our music is on TV now. Most stations are playing it, and some people identify us when we go outside as musicians or upcoming musicians, so to say. So at least at times we get scared, very scared. But then we have Operation Come Live running around every time here, so at least it's better, but I think there should be more security here.
These young men are not the only people worried about the situation in Kaswa. A traditional leader there, Saka Odupon III, is equally concerned. He wants the refugee camp near Kaswa to be demolished.
The refugee camp, that place, the camp, this is the time the camp should be dissolved. This is the time. You know, I cannot take the law into my own hand and do what I like. But we decided to petition the security agencies. If they fail to honor what we want them to do, then we will take the law into our own hand and go there with our Safo people and demolish the refugee camp. But the police also, you know, at times they used to overcome the police. And there is no enough men there to help to fight the crime there. A time will come. But recently, there are some armed robbery cases that happened there, murder cases, a whole lot, which I cannot mention all of them.
In 2019, the then Central Regional Minister Kwame Duncan said the refugee camp has now become, quote, an incubator for criminals. Saka Odupon III is appealing to the Inspector General of Police to increase police personnel in Kaswa.
I'm appealing to my good friend, that is the IGP, James Opobueno, to increase more men there. And them too, they shouldn't look to the politicians, because to calm all these things down, the police, they have to hold their duties, what they have in charge for. They have to do it. They shouldn't fear any politician. Then increase the men there. That will solve the problem. But if the police also, they are afraid of the politician, because they know that if I say something now, today then they'll transfer me to a remote village. So they also keep quiet and be looking at them. That is what is happening. So I'm appealing to IGP and then the CID. They should increase more people there, more men there, because at times the criminals, they overcome the police. The men there, there are not enough men there.
Adip Sani is a security analyst. He has experienced the insecurity situation in Kaswa and wants authorities to take action.
Well, I have a personal experience. I remember I went for a weekend at Kaswa, and thieves broke into the house, stole our personal effects. When I personally went to the police to report, they knew that address, apparently. Oh, Alaji Pio Honum will be coming. To date, no police officer has come there. So this is indicative of the culture of impunity that is allowed to fester in the area, to the extent that I know of certain persons who are victims of crime, from serious crimes to lesser crimes, who don't even take the trouble to report to the police because they ask themselves, to what end? So that is also invariably motivating criminals to perpetrate crime. And this is hinged on a theory I always talk about, rational choice. Before someone perpetrates a crime, he's human, he's sane, he's able to juxtapose the risk factors against the reward factors. So if I'm a potential criminal and I feel that it's a free for all, if I perpetrate this crime, the probability that I'll be caught, I'll be held accountable is low. Obviously, I'll be motivated to perpetrate that crime.
Rastafarians of the Reggae Lovers Club in Sunyai and the family of Alfred Asante are accusing the Sunyai Municipal Hospital of discriminatory care and a tramadol overdose administration, leading to his untimely demise. The musician, also known as Rastine, is said to have been denied fair treatment after being admitted over lower abdominal pain radiating from his testicles, allegedly because of his appearance since he was wearing dreadlocks. The club says if the hospital fails to properly explain the circumstances that led to the death of the 40-year-old Rastini within 1 week, they will institute legal action against the facility. Precious Semevo has more.
At a press conference in Sunyani, the leader of the Reggae Lovers Club, Anojan, also known as Ras Andimola, said their member, Alfred Asante Kwatin Rastene, was unfairly treated, resulting in his death, and demand answers from the Sunyani Municipal Hospital.
We have evidence with regards to reports on his folder that we got from a picture. And then secondly, we learned that his folder cannot be found in the hospital as we speak now. Why are they trying to hide it from the family members? We also demand answers on the basis which he was given injections of tramadol, which we suspect that the doses that was given to our brother was an overdose, which therefore caused his demise. Our brother, Alfred Kwatin, really suffered weak muscles, slowed breathing, extreme drowsiness.
He further alleged other people in the hospital noticed some nurses' level of discrimination towards Rastene due to his dreadlocks. He said they will test the laws if the proper cause of death is not offered within a week.
We also have evidences coming in from patients who were also with him in the same ward. Some of them said, and I quote here, "A Rasta man no dear, Obaye Benfino kra." A beloved brother was totally neglected and discriminated against due to the fact that he was having locks on his head. We are fighting for good, loving people of Ghana so that our hospitals will be treating us all well in whatever they do to us as patients. If they fail within a week to give us all that we need to know, they should get prepared. We as a club will take them on and we will test the laws of Ghana.
Abnatiwa is Rastene's sister. She took him to the hospital on Saturday and he died on Sunday. She said the wrong perception about his dreadlocks influenced the treatment at the hospital. She also said she will seek justice for his brother by any means possible.
Madam
I told the nurse about the non-functioning of the oxygen, only for her to rudely ask me what else I wanted to do. They injected my brother based on the bad perception about his dreadlocks, but he doesn't even smoke weed. So I inject someone who has been vomiting for 3 days an overdose of tramadol. I wish I suffered this fate instead of my gentle brother. I will continue to seek justice for him, just as his name, Ras Papa Tini. I will get him justice by any means possible. Rastene left behind 3 children. For Joy News, Precious Semevo, Sunyani.
Muslims around the world are observing the holy month of Ramadan in the midst of a pandemic for the 2nd year in a row. The spread of COVID-19 has impacted much of the world's population, with governments imposing lockdowns and strict measures to curb the spread of the virus. With government easing restrictions imposed on all gatherings, including congregational prayers, Muslims in Tichuman and Abono East region are sharing the excitement for the opportunity to observe the Taraweeh prayers in the mosque, something they missed last year. Correspondent Anna Sabit visited the Aswaj Central Mosque in Tichuman and now reports.
For the 2nd consecutive year, Muslims across the globe are observing the holy month of Ramadan in the era of COVID-19. Last year, Muslims were forced to pray in their respective homes as part of the restrictions by governments to stop the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. This year, fortunately, these restrictions has been eased and Muslims are permitted to pray in congregation in their various mosques. Here we are at the Aswad Central Mosque in Tichuman in the Bono East region, and we want to speak with the leadership of the mosque to have their take on how important the congregational prayer is to the Muslim Ummah and the holy month of Ramadan. Sheikh Mansour Anas is one of the imams who lead the Januar in this particular mosque. He shares with us the importance of the congregational prayer in Islam.
When we talk of congregational prayer, it's part of the pillars of Islam. It's very important, and it is one of things that bring us together. When praying alone, we don't have the zeal and the motivation to pray like the way you do it when it happens to be in congregation. So congregational prayer is very, very important in our religion.
Are they excited with the fact that they have been given the go-ahead to pray in congregation? And how do they see this year's Ramadan compared to what they observed a year ago?
I'm very, very happy to see this, because I can remember last year around this same time, we are all praying alone in our home. But now we can come together. So those weak among us, when they come to the masjid, the Jama'ah or the congregation motivate them to stand and worship very well. So we are very happy to see this now.
Malam Salisu Abubakar is one of the congregants we met here at the Aswad Central Mosque. He could not hide his excitement with the current situation and calls on all to abide by the protocols to boot out COVID-19.
Very, 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 very happy. I don't know how to express myself. Very, very, and not me alone. All the congregation, we are all happy about government intervention. I know it is through government intervention that we were able to come together here to pray the congregational prayers.
Glancing through the congregation, a significant percent of the people here wear Indian nose masks, at least adhering to that particular protocol. What did the leadership of this mosque do right to ensure that the masses are adhering to this important protocol? Imam Idris Suleiman is the municipal chief imam of Al Sunnah wal Jama'ah in the Tichiman municipality.
We always keep advising our people to stay with the protocols like washing hands and putting on nose mask, especially during the congregational prayers that we know that plenty people will be in for it. We are advising most of them to do it.
From the beginning of this pandemic, this mosque particular in Techiman here, we try all we can to follow the protocols. We have to be disciplined. So that's what we've been using since whenever we come during the sermon on Juma on Fridays and other prayers. We do advise our people to stay away and then use or follow the protocol so that we can all be safe. That's all we do.
To the few others who are not in mask when we got here, what are the leadership telling them in relation to the adherence to this particular protocol?
Even though there are some small number of people who are not yet doing it, but we will still advise them so that they can do it to protect us from not getting that coronavirus.
So this has been the situation here at the Aswad Central Mosque here in Techiman in the Borno East region. My name is Anas Sabit, reporting for Joy News.
We'll take a break on Joy News. We'll bring you the second part of business with Charles Aite.
And welcome to business. The Minister of Works and Housing, Francis Asante, has assured the private sector that government will create an enabling environment for industry players to help bridge the housing deficit in the country. He made these comments when he launched Glitz Africa's maiden magazine on the housing sector. Here's more.
Speaking as the special guest to unveil the maiden edition of Glitz Africa's newest publication on the housing sector, the Minister of Works and Housing, Francis Asante, says the ministry will continue to dialogue with industry players to ensure a high level of professionalism, transparency, and result-oriented programs solve the housing issues.
Ladies and gentlemen, apart from the formulation of legislation and policies to streamline the activities of the sector, the government believes in dialogue with industry players to ensure a high level of professionalism, transparency, and result-oriented programs. In this regard, the ministry is confident that lessons learned through this engagement, will offer us ideas needed to provide homes with the ultimate aim of helping to reduce the housing deficit which is currently facing the country.
On his part, Executive Head Home Loans of the First National Bank, Kojo Adokufo, indicated that the launch of the National Housing Mortgage Financing Scheme will help in dealing with the challenges confronted in the industry.
Time and time again, solutions have been suggested. More affordable housing, strategic government intervention, digitization of address systems, support for local builders and producers of construction material, new legislation, new regulation, and the list goes on and on. Has there been progress? Yes, definitely yes. A lot has been achieved. Honorable Minister, the launch of the National Housing and Mortgage Finance Scheme to assist public servants acquire homes is a significant step in the right direction, especially because it appropriately addresses the provision of home loans in local currency. This is a real game changer.
Nicholas Brown's report for Joy Business.
Now, Alliance Insurance, a subsidiary of global insurance giant Alliance Group, has announced a partnership with UBA Ghana to drive an innovative bank assurance strategy. Through the partnership, over 20 branches of UBA spread across the country will offer customers personal insurance products, which include motor insurance, home insurance, and travel insurance, as well along other financial services in a convenient manner. We have more in this report.
Speaking at the media launch of the Alliance Insurance UBA bancassurance deal in Accra, the Chief Executive Officer at Alliance Insurance, Darlington Munhuwani, said the move is part of efforts to improve insurance accessibility.
In a market where price is controlled, what else can we compete on? What is the difference maker? And really the difference maker is not technology, it's our people and how we interact with our clients, both current and future clients. And the coming together of UBA, which is a client-centered and client-focused organization, together with Allianz, one of our values is that we should be client-focused. And essentially what that means is a big word to say clients are important. So that is one of the driving forces around this partnership. We have signed, we are going to do business, and our people are going to deliver the service.
Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of UBA Ghana, Olalekan Balogun, described the partnership as a synergy that is bringing value to customers.
Why I'm saying this is that we have quite a number of our customers that, due to conveniences, some of them don't have covers against the investment they have today. But with this kind of partnership, having those products on our desk in the banking hall will make sure that we have a lot of people imbibe the insurance culture, as it were. So it's a synergy as far as I'm concerned, as more than a partnership. The customers and the entire public tend to benefit more from this. This first stage of the partnership will cover 3 items, which is a vehicle that has already been talked about, home, and also travels.
Deputy Commissioner of Insurance, Kofi Ando, says bank assurance is the current emerging force in the insurance industry.
Even though bank brokers and agents have been and still remain the major channels of insurance distribution in Ghana, the trend is rapidly changing. Bank assurance and the mobile phone are the current emerging forces. For example, bank assurance partnerships generated about 271 million cedis worth of premiums in 2020, up from under 150 million in 2016. Again, in 2016, bank assurance generated about 7% of all life insurance premiums. At the end of 2019, this had grown to 13%.
The bank assurance product is made available to all customers, particularly homeowners, car owners, small and medium enterprises, and expatriates due to the kind of operations they are involved in.
The U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, Stefan Silvan, has revealed that there is a $300 million loan facility available to support micro, small, and medium enterprises in Ghana. She made this comment when it happened to be the launch of Domino's Foods, of which we have more in this report.
Pizza, a subsidiary of Fire Foods Africa, has opened a branch at East Legon. The launch was graced by the U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, Stephanie Sullivan, who referred to the eatery as an emblem of promoting Ghana-U.S. trade. She further stated that the Continental Free Trade Area has increased interest in investments.
I'm very excited to be here today at the opening of Domino's Pizza in East Legon, and it's emblematic of the interest of U.S. investors in doing business in Ghana. And to your point, having the Secretariat of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area based here in Accra has brought new interest and attention, and we're working with the Secretariat to see how we may be able to help. Between the U.S. Exim Bank and Ghana Exim Bank, we have a $300 million loan guarantee facility, which can help the small and medium enterprises in Ghana that may want to import equipment and services from the United States. So we're looking forward to seeing those businesses benefit from that, up to $10 million maximum per business.
Vikas Singh, Managing Director of Far East Mercantile Limited, proprietors of Fire Foods Africa, says Domino's Pizza is not focused on any competition because it is way better in every way.
Domino's is a globally renowned brand. It is one of the best fast food chains in the world. Like I said, ideology of Far East has always been to bring in great brands into Africa. We always believed in the strength of Africa, and this is another example of how we have brought another good brand into Africa. We believe in the economic strength of Africa. There's competition and there's room for everybody to work, and I think this industry is at a very infancy nascent stage. There's a lot of consumers there that want quality pizza at affordable prices. So I'm sure we and our competition will coexist. I have not focused on my competition at all. I'm very confident Domino's is way better in every way.
Executive Director for Fire Foods Africa, Karan Kapoor, indicated that the presence of Domino's Pizza in Ghana will be an avenue for investments and job opportunities.
When we're coming to market currently, we're looking at a large investment which will be there. So there's a lot of foreign investment that will be coming into Ghana. We also will be investing in localizing the supply chain, and most importantly, we'll be providing a lot of employment, new jobs, upskilling, training as well, and investments into that. We're investing in technology on the training side. For us, the Ghana has been a great investment opportunity, a great country to enter, and we've been very excited. This is for us the few important things. The most important is quality. So in terms of quality of products and what we serve. So in terms of food safety, hygiene, each of the suppliers we buy from are audited with hygiene standards, which are certified with global certifications. We've got a lot of localized flavors and products. We've got Pepe hot chicken, chichinga beef, and then of course the entire technology and delivery which Domino's is known for. So we are offering free delivery. You'll see a big sign in the back saying free delivery. That in Ghana, which we believe a lot of customers are looking for and waiting for, as well as the entire online ordering platform. So you can sit in your house and know when your pizza is being made, when it's leaving the outlet, when it's going to reach.
Now, the Association of Ghana Industries has added a layer of competitiveness to consumable products through the introduction of a health safety seal called the Obasima seal. We have more in this report.
The relevance of this seal is to set out the nutritional benefits of certified consumable products for the Ghanaian, African and international markets. The chief executive of the AGI, Sechuma Kwabwa, said that this places Ghana on a competitive edge among its players in the Continental Free Trade Agreement.
You know, we live in a competitive world now. With the CFTA coming on board, what it means is that your market is going to be opening even more for African countries to bring their products in, and you can also export to other African markets. Now, when they talk about competition, it's in different ways, on different fields. You can have competitive products in terms of quality, and then you can also have competitive products in terms of price. The thing about quality is that the consumers must accept it as a quality product, and it means that it must make a good impact on their health when they consume it.
The Vice President of the AGI, Humphrey Ayim Dake, is confident that the Obasima seal will guarantee that food products with the set seal will fulfill certain nutritional criteria that includes needful information on minerals, vitamins, and healthy levels of sugar and salt.
The AGI has led the acquisition of new companies who will produce fortified products to add to the Obasima portfolio. 57 food processing companies have been identified, and the Obasima idea pitched to them for further capacity building in this objective.
The Obasima sale saw stakeholders touch on the best ways by which locally made foods could meet global standards. And many thanks for being a part of the business news. I'm Charles Aite. The bulletin continues.
That's how we wrap up the bulletin tonight. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com for all the updates of the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.